2-second taunt, 3 block stacks, completely void auto attacks, and a cross-map ultimate that gives you a whopping 30% damage mitigation. Hello hobos and oblas, today we'll be talking about Athena, goddess of wisdom. I'll be breaking down her ability kit to its entirety, all the bits, tricks, and things that make her tick. Athena is a part of the Guardian class in Smite, so she deals magical damage and being a part of that class, giving her passive crowd control reduction, maxing out at 20% crowd control reduction at 20th level. Athena is typically played within the support role, building protection items and cooldown to either initiate or help heal her team.
Some gods will never learn, but we must do our best to teach them anyway.
Athena's passive is called Reach. Each time Athena casts an ability, Athena's next basic attack is ranged, dealing 50% more damage to anybody it hits, also applying on-hit effects like Polynomicon, while also not slowing you down due to the auto-attack movement penalty applied by normal auto-attacks. This passive alone allows Athena to do a lot of damage early on, but as you won't be building power, your damage will fall off later into the game from this passive, as it is only your auto attacks.
Wisdom and strategy are better defenses than shields and armor.
Now on to Athena's first ability, which is called Preemptive Strike. Athena charges up and prepares to dash for 1 second, after which Athena can dash to a point of her choice. Upon hitting an enemy god, Athena gains a block stack to a max of 3 block stacks, completely void an auto attack from hitting you, taking away all the damage from that single enemy auto attack. A max damage of the impact of the dash does 280 base damage plus 50% of your magical power. This ability makes it incredibly easy to get in range of your enemies for your second ability.
Turn and fight.
Athena's second ability is called Confound. Athena sends a shockwave from her shield to taunt her enemies, causing them to walk and auto towards Athena for a max duration of 2 seconds. This does a max damage of the taunt, does 140 base damage plus 20% of your magical power. This is a great setup for the rest of your team, as the enemy will be extremely predictable with their movement and with prepping your teammates with your dash as you prep the dash and then charge in, as well as to be able to save their abilities for when you dash into the enemy and then taunt them. So all of your abilities are extremely predictable for 1, your teammates, and then 2, the enemies, but you should still have the jump on the enemies as you get to choose when to dash in, and then that 2 seconds of taunt allows your teammates to collapse onto whoever you taunt on.
Soldiers, assemble.
Athena's third ability is called Shield Wall. Athena summons a group of Athenian warriors in a circle who do damage and a 20% slow upon arrival. After 2 seconds, they strike again, dealing additional damage and slowing again. The max damage of both hits does 560 base damage plus 100% of your magical power. This ability is nice to use just for some damage. It can be hard to achieve the second hit of this ability on gods, but the damage of the secondary hit can be nice early game, especially nice early game, as with 1 point into the ability, you are doing 140 base damage plus 100% of your scaling, which is a lot of damage early on into the game for one ability, for one single ability. But if you do manage, the easiest way to get 2 hits off is shield wall onto the enemy, wait a little bit, maybe a half second, taunt them back into the shield wall as they're running away from it, and then you should get the second hit of the shield wall, even with just 1 or 2 points into the taunt.
Wherever there are gods in need, I'll be there.
Athena's fourth and final ability is her ultimate. It is called Defender of Olympus. Athena picks a single allied god anywhere in the world and launches herself up into the air, landing next to the god after 3.5 seconds, of course. Later, During that 3.5 seconds, both Athena and the allied god gain 30% damage mitigation, and the allied god also gains 20% movement speed. Enemies nearby when Athena lands take damage. A max damage of the landing does 640 base damage plus 90% of your magical power. This is a great tool to be able to use whenever a fight is starting around the map, as the damage mitigation will help whoever you're fighting fight to hopefully outtrade the enemy they are fighting, and when you land, you can continue to help them by taunting them and making it easier to get easy damage off on the enemy. That was Athena's entire kit, so now we're going to some useful tips to help you excel at Athena, as well as how you should be playing her in general to maximize her usefulness.
A guardian must do what's best for them.
Building Athena, she plays like an ability-based, peel-centric tank, so you want to build as much protections, auras, and ability cooldown, so you can provide all the utility to your team by having your second ability, Confound, ready more often. A good build this patch is to start out with Sentinel's Gift, Mystical Earrings, and Bountiful Bow. Then, in order, build Prophetic Cloak, Gauntlet of Thebes, Pridwin, Revenant Pridwin, Sovereignty, and then Stone of Binding. When you hit level 15, upgrade your starter to Sentinel's Embrace. As for your relics, I like to go Sundering Spear and Blink Rune, whichever order you can choose. This build, though, provides 30% cooldown reduction and a lot of protections and utility with your whole kit. With 3 different aura-giving items, it offers your team a lot of protections, as well as yourself, to survive through any team fight that may happen. And when your taunt is off cooldown, then you're providing the auras to your teammates, so then they can be a bit more tanky themselves.
This is why warriors follow me.
Athena's strong point throughout the game is mid to late game, as teamfights begin to happen and people start to group up. So you can have multiple people taunt, as your cone is rather large. It makes this easy. Hitting multiple people with that 2-second taunt can really change the flow of a team fight, and could single-handedly win the team fight for your team, especially if the rest of your team behind you is able to capitalize off of your taunt, which will be easier to do come later into the game when more and more team fights start happening, and your taunt becomes longer and longer, as it does get to that 2-second taunt point.
Outplay me? Maybe. Outsmart me? No chance.
Athena during laning phase is typically played within the support role, making her start on long lane green camp, doing basic jungle clear with your ADC, starting out with your third ability Shield Wall, killing the starting camps of chest, green, and purple camp, and then rotating to long lane / dual lane, trying to pressure out the enemy using your double hit of your third ability, and your extra damaging autos to help your ADC clear. Athena's main goal in the laning phase is to try to get your carry in an advantageous position, and to do that, poking out the enemy ADC is the easiest way possible to do that. So, they are so scared to even approach the wave, as fear of getting taunted and killed since they're already low health. So, pushing the enemy laners into such an uncomfortable position where they can't even contest you or your ADC is your main goal. Where then, in team fights,
Titans fall before us.
in team fights, Athena has a lot of peel with her taunt, being a large portion of that peel, and during a team fight, you want to do just that. Whoever may jump onto your squishy backliners, you want to use your second ability Confound to taunt the enemy away from them, away from your teammates. Or, if they're too far away, ulting your squishies to ensure that they are taking less damage as you are giving them a lot of damage mitigation, 30%, most likely, since you're already at that teamfight stage.
I am famous among the gods for wisdom, cunning wiles too.
Because of how power scales with magical autos, your auto attacks aren't damaging, as magical characters scale by 20% of their magical power to their auto attacks. Now, to explain what an auto attack cancel is, when auto-attacking, there are specific phases to an auto-attack. Auto-attack canceling is the action of casting an ability right after the action phase of the auto-attack. Athena's auto-attacks are special, however. After she casts an ability, she gains a special ranged auto-attack that does increase damage. The action phase of throwing the spear is quick, and the preparation phase is slow. So, she's the perfect character to do auto-attack canceling on, specifically early game. But as Athena gets later into the game, her damage from her autos will matter less, and less, and less. While your squishies will matter infinitely more, it is more important that you simply press your abilities later into the game, as your damage, your specific damage, will fall off.
Foresight and perception wins wars.
Playing Athena, you want to level your man clear ability first, as you want to farm the best you can. And your third ability will help you do that the best. It does the most damage, 140 damage at level 1. After that, once you get to lane and hit level 2, getting your second ability Confound, so you can start CCing the enemy, damaging them, and pressuring them out of lane. Level 3, I like to put 2 points into her 2, just for an even longer CC on her taunt. And at level 5, putting a point into her ultimate, then leveling her second ability, her main CC ability Confound, to make sure that 2-second taunt is as soon as possible. Then your third ability, Shield Wall, for the damage it provides. Then her first ability, Preemptive Strike, putting points into her ultimate whenever she can. Whenever those points become available.
I know exactly where I'm going to use this.
So to look at what a full rotation of what your abilities can look like is this. Keep in mind, each time I say auto, it is asking you to auto-attack cancel her abilities. Athena has a few ways to play. We'll start off with an early poking combo. So, you want a 3 right on top of your enemies, for that slow as well as the damage, autoing them, then 2 to taunt them and bring them back into your 3, autoing them again with your enhanced auto, then your second hit of your 3 should hit them again, doing massive damage early into the game. Now, another way to play, and another way to engage for your team, providing initiation for your team specifically. You want to charge your dash, and go in, hit the enemy, 2, and then 3. Now, a more appealing way to play, if you want to help your teammates while they might be too far away as well, you want to 4 onto your teammate, 2, and then 3.
Do you still doubt the goddess of battle tactics?
Athena is one of the easiest peel guardians there is, with one big taunt peel, but still provides a lot to learn. And if you choose to fight with dignity, I wish you luck in your gladiatorial duels, so you may take your rightful place among the gods and become the best god you can be.